first of all, deep thank for this opportunity after this work.
Primero, un agradecimiento muy profundo porque ustedes le han dado la oportunidad de hacer este trabajo después del trabajo que han hecho por toda la semana.
I can speak for us three. We love you both very much.
Puedo expresarme de los tres que estamos aquí presentes que sentimos un amor por ustedes profundo.
Gracias. And we have deep respect for the art and the mastery which we could witness.
Y tenemos un respeto muy profundo por su arte de sanación y su maestría en este trabajo.
We are really willing to support, to honor this work and to protect this work as we can.
Y somos listos y abiertos y curiosos en las formas en cual podemos apoyar este trabajo de protección, de aportación, en cualquier forma será posible.
Bien, ante nada, buenas tardes. También
First of all, I will begin with good evening and thank you very much on behalf of me and the Maestra. We would like to express our gratitude and appreciation for this friendship that we feel is happening, because you get to know somebody with the energy that they carry. And when there is a good energy, when there is a good understanding, when there is a good respect, it is possible to connect in this way, because the work into the spiritual world is not easy. It's a lot and it takes a lot to put into helping the people to go through the hardest and caring for them with your heart. So we're very happy to come to this connection.
Con respecto al trabajo que ustedes quieren ayudarnos, bueno, en primer lugar quiero presentarme para que sepan.
So I would continue with addressing your invitation for us to receive a support, for us to receive your help. First of all, I would like to present myself so that you know who I am and so that you know the project that stands behind me. My name is Noé and Metzaruni, and here on my side is the Maestra Silvia, and we have already mentioned and spoken about our project and deep connection into wanting to preserve the plants of the medicine, of the world of the medicine. So what a beautiful invitation and opportunity is this, to find a way to help in the preservation and the conservation of these sacred plants that are part of the healing process, which you know very well through the medicine.
El trabajo siempre estamos haciendo nosotros mismos con la maestra, porque el Estado peruano
and so you have also expressed a desire to learn, and we want to open our invitation and to tell you that we are ready and we will be very happy to guide you into the path of learning, into the path of apprenticeship, so that you can see from your own selves and so that you can see from your own experience what is the work into this world that we know and where we can guide you. So what our dream is, what our project is, that in our center we are preserving, and the government of Peru is not helping us. So this is a fight that we only have with the Maestra, only two of us. We are putting a lot of happiness and a lot of joy into planting these plants, and we have the safety and we have the trust that once we have planted them on our land, this is how we can preserve them. And something that I very often say is, to plant one plant is to save one life. So this is our vision, this is our project into having all the plants on our land so that we can take care of them and from there produce even more.
Y también la maestra Chonumbra
So also another project that we have, it is more in the hands of Maestra Silvia, is her desire to work with women and to open her knowledge and wisdom for the women, working with the plants, because there is this particular plant, Wasta Piripiri, that they used to put in their eyes as eye drops that would open their vision space, because all that you can see in our art designs, they come without frame. Everything is put on the moment, in the moment. And this comes from the creativity and the connection of the Shipibo woman to the vision space.
Is there any kind of legend how the Shipibos have found Ayahuasca?
¿Hay alguna leyenda que los Shipibos cuentan sobre cómo su gente, sus abuelos, ancestros han encontrado la medicina ayahuasca? ¿Cómo ha entrado la medicina en su...?
Dos versiones, ¿no? La ayahuasca también es como...
So there are two sources of how the medicine ayahuasca could have been created into a brew, because the plants were already existing, but into a brew. Some people say that it was a knowledge that the Incas preserved and were able to share with the Shipibo people. Others tell the story of a healer, a person who was working with the plants, who was exploring the virgin jungles, the virgin forests, where only certain energies of chaikunis, in the Shipibo cosmology, chaikunis are spirits that live in the jungle, and they do not let anybody to pick up any type of plant. So in order to learn to receive the permission of the chaikunis to go and to walk into these realms of the forests, you need to first receive their trust and to first receive their permission. So that was the understanding, that the brew was combined by a healer, wise man who was working with the chaikunis and who found these plants into the jungle.
Entonces, un hombre se fue un tiempo a pescar.
And so the legend tells the story of a man who went to fish one day, and then he disappeared. And he met and he fell in love with a chaikuni aimbo, which is translating like chaikuni woman, who took him to their world with her people, and this is where that person disappeared, and he never was seen again.
Entonces convivía con la mujer chaikuni y el hombre, entonces la mujer, los suegros.
So he lived with the chaikunis, and for 15 years the chaikunis, these mythical creatures, were teaching him and showing him the arts of working with the plants, teaching him how to be a good medicine person, how to be a good medic and healer. And for those 15 years, he lived together with the chaikunis in peace and in harmony, and he was learning with them. So one day, he was having 3 sons with that chaikuni woman, and one day he decided to go and to visit his family.
Y un día vino a visitar a la familia. Entonces el hombre se fue y...
So his wife, after 15 years, told him, maybe you need to go back home. I can feel that your family cannot forget you. It's already 15 years since you left. So he returned back to his home, and when his people, when his family, his community saw him, it was something like a beautiful miracle. But he told them, I have only returned to tell you that I am alive, but my life is already there. And he spent some time with his family and with his community, and then he returned to his life and to his family.
Entonces vivieron años, ¿no? El hombre ya empezaba a ser
So the years were passing by, and he was turning into a wise man with his knowledge, and he was putting a lot of effort into growing his sons and preparing them into the healing arts so that one day they can return to the community and they can bring this art and knowledge of healing with them.
Entonces también ya el papá decía, solo quiero
and so when he was preparing his sons and the right time was coming, the only thing that he left as a legacy for his sons and some instructions were when he passes, that they do not put his body into the earth, but that there is this big tree over there, and please bring my body there and put it in a standing position, and then leave my body there. And the same instructions came for the body of their mother. When she was ready to pass into transition, they had to bring her body to a different tree behind the kitchen in the same standing position.
Entonces, a los tres hijos, un día les reuní.
And so one day he collected and called his three sons, and he was having his final words for his sons, knowing their qualities when they were growing up, knowing how their sons were. He honored and named each and every son with a title. There are in their world and understanding of the Shipibos, there are three categories of people who are working in the spirit world with the medicine. First one is Maraya. This is the highest category of a healer. These were the healers that were present in ancient times when their ancestors were alive. The second category that is known in the Shipibos is Onaya. This is the people that have the knowledge, that carry the wisdom. And the third category is Yobu. Yobu is a category of something that is not fully there to serve into the light, but rather understanding certain aspect of the energies, but more clinging towards darkness within that world. So he looked at his eldest son and told him, "You will be Maraya." The middle son, he said, "You will be Onaya." And the smallest son, the youngest, he said, "You will be Yobu." And he said that it was his time to pass and to go. So he said, "Please, once you leave my body according to the instructions, you need to leave, and everybody needs to step on their path."
Entonces, tal como lo dijo el padre, lo hicieron cuando papá murió, ahí debajo del árbol prendido, y la mamá igual.
And so the instructions were given, they followed the instructions, they left the body of the father, they left the body of the mother, and then they had to return back to the community so that they bring their knowledge to return to the people. And Maestro wants to speak a little bit about this category that is known as Maraya. This is a very immense understanding, but these people, according to their cosmology, were able to walk on water, to fly in the air, to transform into and to be at different places in the same time, or disappear from one place and appear in another place as part of their mastery. In these current times that we are now living, they only have two known Marayas. They have these people. These are people that are connected to the energy of the earth, of the air, and of the water. These are people who can go into the mountains and live there without, and survive there and live there without any trouble. They could go into the water, connect with the spirits and the energies of the water, and also living on this earth.
En segunda categoría, los unayas, en este caso nosotros, ¿no? Hombres que hacen trabajo de curación, sanación.
So the second category of people, the Onayas, what these maestros are, these are the people that carry the knowledge, the wise people. in their lives, they have this connection to the world of plants. Very often they're called maestropaleros, which is the meaning of working also with trees and with plants. So they might sit for 5, for 10, for 20 different plants in an isolated diet, where they connect with the spirit, with the power, with the healing qualities of a certain plant, and they learn to understand how to carry the medicine of the word, how to carry the medicine of the healership, how to read the energies and understand what needs to be done to be to help somebody. So this is why they are called people of the knowledge, people that carry the knowledge, because they have learned with the plants.
En mi frente a frente y me conecto con la energía, ¿no? Entonces, yo voy a aprender, yo puedo preguntar, ¿tú tienes problema? Y viste que no. ¿Qué tienes problema? ¿Por qué? Lo sé. Porque la energía ya me transmitió de aquella persona, ¿no? Por eso los grandes Onayas.
And these people, because of the connection that they have with the plant diet, they achieved certain type of intelligence that is hard to be explained, but their ancestors, the Onayas, in their communities were carriers of this intelligence. They would build huge houses without any architectural design, without any knowledge of construction, but all would be transmitted through the intelligence of the earth, through the intelligence and connection to the knowledge that they have acquired with the plants.
Entonces, ¿hay planta para eso?
And so these are plants, but also there are animals that are carrying the energies of intelligence, the energies of teachings, the energies of learnings. So not only plants, but also animals into this world of spirit that you have everything.
La tercera categoría, Yobu.
So the third category that was mentioned, the so-called Yobu, they also call them brujos, or the closest translation to this would be magicians. So they are those types of tricksters. They haven't learned in depth about the healing arts. They do not have the desire in their hearts to help. They can work with the energies to a certain extent that might bring sickness, that might bring different type of negative emotions. So they're the so-called bad energy carriers.
En el mundo Shipibo existe pocos eso.
Something that is very interesting, he says, is that in our Shipibo world, we don't know of many such people. But in the Western world, we know that there are people who consciously and intentionally sit and work with energies or read from old books and practice rituals that are consciously, intentionally done to bring damage, to hurt, to bring bad energies.
Bueno, la historia es larga, ¿no? Entonces, los 3 hijos que salieron,
and so time has passed to come back to the legend. It's a very big and large legend. And the sons were thinking, maybe we can go back home and just see what happened of our parents. Maybe some animal has eaten them, and just honor them, just come back to our memory. So they returned back to their home where they grew up, and they saw that where they have left the body of their father, there was the vine of ayahuasca growing around that huge tree, the vine with really beautiful, abundant with leaves, super alive. And where they had put the body of the mother, there was the shrub of chacruna growing with these beautiful, vibrant green leaves. And they understood why the instructions were to not put the bodies in the soil, but to put them supported by the trees so that they could offer their bodies and their lives to their communities as carriers of knowledge and guidance.
Entonces desde ahí ya empieza la ayahuasca y la chacruna.
And so this is how the story of ayahuasca being part of the Shipibo community began. This is how the Marayas, this is how the Onayas and the people Yobu we're working with this medicine, with all the aspects that the Maestro explained. There are many people, Maestro says, that are putting on Shipibo clothing and claim to be healers. But it is very important in order to understand and to get to know this world, to find and to connect with the real healers, with those who are practicing this art of the Onayas with the knowledge and are real in their hearts.
Pues, por ejemplo, los Shipibos, realmente cantamos los Icaros en nuestro idioma.
So something that the Maestro is saying is that in Peru there are many people, there is this so-called mixed tradition, the mestizo tradition. It's an indigenous culture that is combined with the Spanish influence. So he says there are many people in this world of spirit that work with the medicine, but kind of put on Shipibo clothing. And like the kushma, this is a very traditional robe that the healers would put. Mostly it would be the male maestros that would put. It is like their protective armor with all their Shipibo design. And so he says, when you meet somebody and they would speak churu churu, soa soa, hakun, this is, you understand that this is our Shipibo language and they're part of our Shipibo culture. But something that troubles him somehow is that there are all these kind of practitioners that come from different lineages, but they put on the Shipibo clothing and they try to use the Shipibo culture for their work. And he says, I am Shipibo and I can say this so proudly. And this is why I can wear my clothing with pride and with honor, because I am Shipibo, because I'm coming from this community. So he says, of course, if these people could connect themselves to their own tradition, to their own signs, to their own instruments, it would be a better way of practicing.
Para ustedes normal, ¿no? Cualquiera puede poner el traje de
So he's actually referring mostly to the people, he's not referring to the people who are interested to apprentice within the Shipibo tradition, who are recognizing this art and want to connect with the energies of this art. He's not referring to our world. He's referring to the people who are practitioners of the medicine and try to trick other people that they are the healers, the powerful healers of the Shipibo, by putting on a clothing that belongs to the Shipibo tradition, but they are not. So he's referring a little bit to this thing that is very present in this culture, is like the false and the real.
Yeah. Bueno. I think we have a lot of these false healers in Europe. Yeah. I would like to speak about Icaro. So when I first heard them, I had the feeling, now I know how angels are singing. And for me, it makes more than half of the power of the work. So I really would like to know, how is the Icaros?
Entonces quiere hablar un poquito sobre los Ícaros. Cuando le escuché a ustedes cantar por la primera vez, se dijo a sí mismo, ya ahora sé cómo cantan los ángeles, ¿no? y por esto tiene en su entendimiento y en su sentido y en su corazón, él sabe que los Ícaros son una parte muy grande del trabajo y quiere preguntarle que hablen un poquito sobre los Ícaros, cómo se forman, cómo se crean.
Bueno, los Ícaros son de lo aprendido, ¿no? Por ejemplo, yo puedo dietar de una planta.
So, the Icaros are coming when sitting to dieting with the plant. So, when you sit to diet with the plant within the Shipibo tradition, the plant teaches you and you connect with its spiritual world. Every plant has its own world, its own energies in their proper world. So the Icaro is like an invocation. when they work with the Icaros in the ceremonies, they invoke the strength and the spiritual world of every plant, so that the plant comes and helps to organize, to order, to guide the energies. So the Icaro is being an expression of the connection with a certain plant. For example, the Maestro was speaking about Kano. Kano is the line, the connection that you create with the plant through which you're able to call their power, so that they manifest during the ceremonies and help with anything that can happen within the world, within the space of the ceremony.
Y los Icaros no son copias, no son como cualquier canción que yo puedo tener de letras y aprender y cantar. Cualquiera lo puede hacer.
The Icaros are not songs that are part of a playlist that come with lyrics that you can learn, because if it was like that, anybody could do that. The Icaros are an act of creation. It happens within the space. This is why at the very beginning of the ceremonies, the maestros would sit in silence and they would feel into what energies are present. And these Icaros are a co-creation based on working with what energies are present. It happens in the act of working within the ceremony. So at the beginning, when they stay in silence and they feel the energies in the space, when a bad energy comes, they sing and they call the proper energy so that they can navigate the space. And this is a way to control, to work within this realm. When the maestros come to sing individual Icaros, this is again an act of creation based on what is needed for that particular person, what they see, what is needed, and in that moment they're creating the Icaro.
Entonces, los Icaros también, hay Icaros.
So there are three types of expressing the Icaros. The first connection of what energy is being worked with would be when the Icaros are sung at a lower voice. This is when the energies are still soft and there is nothing really intense going on. Then you can hear the Icaros going into a higher pitch, maybe middle. This is when something is already present and they're kind of focusing to cleanse the space. And when the Icaros is sang at the full pitch highest voice, this is when there are strong, heavy energies that need to be purified and released and cleansed from the space.
My next question may sound a little bit strange. I have sometimes experienced that I'm contacted by extraterrestrial beings, like aliens. Is it just a movie in my head, or is it really also a connection to different realms?
Puede ser que esta pregunta le va a sonar un poquito raro, pero quiere compartir algo de su experiencia propia, que muchas veces o algunas veces cuando está con la medicina en sus visiones, recibe una visión en cual él está visitado de seres extraterrestres. ¿Qué creen y qué piensan ustedes sobre este tipo de visiones? ¿Son verdaderamente visiones que vienen de su conexión con la medicina o es algo que está creado en su cabeza?
Esos tipos de mensajes son cuando una persona tiene una buena energía.
So these messages, first of all, he says that they're coming when somebody has a good connection, when somebody has a good energy. But the way that the Maestro explains these visions is very interesting, because he speaks that these are the same energies of the plant that are taking a form of aliens, of extraterrestrial beings, but they are still part of the energies of the plants, and they can only be manifested in the spiritual world. So very often this could be a calling for learning, an invitation for stepping fully into, but not everybody has these type of visions. So these type of visions are very special, and they are part, though, the way that the Maestro sees this is that they're part of the plants, they're part of the way the spirits of the plants are showing themselves. Sometimes he says people can see the Maestros as aliens in the ceremony. that is also the same energy of the spirits, of the plants that they're working with from that world. So he says there could be many, many different interpretations, but in his understanding, this is the meaning of your visions.
Por ejemplo, cuando uno dieta, los sueños ya se conecta con el mundo espiritual.
For example, when the maestro is in the world of the diets, when he's dieting, in the world of diet, the energies of the plants and the connection to the spirit world is especially stronger into the dream space. So he says, I fly a lot in my dream space. And sometimes I find myself into this type of flying objects that are unidentified flight objects that don't have entrance, that don't look like a plane, and I find myself sitting inside of these. So this is part of the world of the vision of the energies of the plants. This is part of how the spirit world manifests through different type of expressions of these visions. So yes, in the world of the dieta, you can find different entrances to the world of spirit. That the world of spirit is everything. It just transforms and shows in different ways.
So siempre yo también, como siempre el Niurao.
So something that is very interesting is that in this world of spirit, there is a lot of, sometimes there are these energy fights, and they have so many weapons and ways of escaping certain energies and certain energy attacks. For example, with the plant of Niuerao, is that there is this understanding, this vision of an invisible plane or a vehicle that with a song they can call, and this energy vehicle, the maestros enter into this energy vehicle together with all the people that are part of the ceremony, and they leave the space where the energy fight is happening. So they have many ways of protecting themselves, many ways of using different armors, weapons, but they use these only in final cases. The natural way of working with the energies during a ceremony or into the spirit world is to work with their presence.
Y hay Icaros de eso, ¿no?
And so they say that they have a very big alliance into the world of spirit, into the world of plants, and they are very powerful armors, and they call these energies of the earth, of the water, of the air with the Icaros. So when there is a very strong energy attack within the space towards themselves, when there are these energies that come to the surface, the energies of fear, the energies of doubts, these are these type of energy fights in ourselves. So in those moments, through the Icaros, they're calling these mighty powers of the water, of the air, of the earth, that are also able to be manifested in order to protect, in order to help them, to support them.
One last question, I promise. Yeah. So, I mean, I see so much dedication in their life to this work. So what is their purpose of life? Why they are doing it?
Algo como última pregunta, es que dice, yo veo muy profunda y muy sincera y muy honesta dedicación en ustedes haciendo este tipo de trabajo. ¿Pueden decir o si pueden explicar o qué sienten ustedes sobre el propósito de su vida en este campo de curandierismo? ¿Por qué lo están haciendo este trabajo?
Bueno, nosotros en primer lugar somos decididos a este campo porque vemos que muchas personas necesitan una sanación y una curación, que lo necesitan mucho. Eso también viene ya parte de la herencia que nos heredaron nuestros abuelos. Desde ahí viene eso, ¿no? Que Nuestros abuelos hacían trabajo, sanaban y a veces uno gusta ese campo.
We do this work as part of our dedication and commitment as a choice, but it also comes as a legacy from our own grandfathers, from our own ancestors. And it's not easy to do this work, but we have taken the choice to commit our lives to it, so we are doing it gladly. But don't think that this is a space in which once you learn, that's the whole work. This is a continuous preparation and a continuous work with, before coming here for working with many people and being able to serve the art of healing. In January, together with the Maestra, we sat in a dieta to prepare our energies, to charge our batteries, so that we can come here and with the full strength of the energies that we have collected, accumulated, learned with, we can offer this service and we can offer this healing. And then once we have worked here with so many energies, different processes, different people, we go back home and we sit ourselves, we put ourselves into treatments with healing plants, through saunas, through aromatic baths, with which we are able to cleanse and disconnect things that we have absorbed during this work, and we can charge our batteries again.
Por eso yo siempre recomiendo, ¿no? Hay muchas personas también que trabajan con diferentes tipos de trabajo con personas, ¿no? Por ejemplo, hay personas que son
Maestro is saying that there are all these different professions, these different works in which people serve other people as part of their commitment. So it could be massage therapists, it could be psychologists, it could be people who practice different type of therapy modalities. And in those type of works where you are working in service for many people, there is a lot of accumulation of energies, because the process of healing is a release of something that is stuck, something that is low frequency, and so that the healing can happen, so that the release can happen, the liberation. And so the Maestro is always inviting, always suggesting that at least once a year, people who work with many other people, either through their therapies, either through their healing modalities, or maybe with their business, to commit once a year to a time in which they can disconnect these energies that they have accumulated from the different people. He's giving as an example the saunas that they do within the Shipibo tradition, which is an understanding of disconnecting really heavy, low-frequency, intense energies that have been accumulated in the body and in the system. So this is one very beautiful, holistic way of coming to the understanding of the type of work that we are doing and how we can do that in a good way.
Igual tenemos 3 amigos de Rusia. Cada año se van a limpiar, a hacer un tratamiento de 10 días. Obviamente vuelven.
Maestro is speaking of 3 friends that they have from Russia who every year do this kind of treatment. Not only that they heal themselves by disconnecting these energies through the different plant treatments that the Maestros are offering, through the saunas that are offering, but they're also receiving this fresh mindset, these fresh new ideas that they're bringing with themselves every time. So when it comes to September, they receive these messages with their friends asking them, we are ready to come and to visit you, when can we do that? So that's a very beautiful practice of bringing this into your life.
Para hablar hay muchas, ¿no? de diferentes temas.
Thank you also for this opportunity. This is a very, very immense topic. It's something that we can never say all about it. We can even meet the sunrise being here and speaking all night. So it's okay. They're also expressing gratitude.
I will for sure come back and ask more questions.
Por seguro dice que voy a volver, voy a regresar y voy a preguntar más. Con más preguntas voy a regresar.
Muchas gracias a ti.
Mira que...
Hola amigos, quiero enviar este mensaje a través de este video. La situación actual que estamos pasando en Perú, particularmente en Pucallpa, en la selva peruana donde nosotros vivimos, está siendo atacado muy fuertemente la inundación por la constante lluvia. Y estamos afectados muchas familias, tanto yo y mi familia. Nuestras casas ya están en el agua. Esto ya está pasando como 2 meses, pero aún así la lluvia sigue constante y el agua va creciendo más. Y no hay cuando pare este fenómeno. Y entonces nosotros ya vemos esta situación muy serio, y lo preocupante es que nosotros ya no tenemos dónde vivir, dónde estar. Entonces hago un llamado a los amigos o otras personas de buen corazón que pueden contribuir, colaborar su donación por nuestra causa justa. Entonces, espero su pronta colaboración. Amigos, hoy por mí, mañana por ustedes. No sabemos, la vida siempre nos sorprende cuando no estamos todavía preparados en esta situación, porque nunca pasó esto en Perú, pero ahora se está pasando esto. Entonces, los pido de corazón, le pedimos de corazón su pronta aportación con nosotros, y será muy agradecido, y muchas bendiciones para ustedes. Y de corazón, gracias.
Maybe